Hey yo everybody, it's Johnny5 Alive here and welcome back to the Summer Coaster Contest. We're going to be kicking things off with Galactic Drop Scarif Assault, created by Tone 300, an expert builder in this community, as well as a Diamond Patron. Thank you so much for your support, Tone 300. And here they say, Galactic Drop Scarif Assault is a Star Wars themed coaster set in a beautifully sunny environment of Scarif. This is where stormtroopers choose to take their summer holidays, but the rebel scum have launched a surprise attack on them. Ride the coaster day and night, but I prefer sunset and forward facing. I wish I had more time and pieces to add to this blueprint, but a much bigger version with more pieces will be in my mega park that I am building. If anyone wants to follow this park's progress, please check it out on my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/tone300. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, Tone. Pretty exciting stuff, kicking things off with a Star Wars coaster. Let's get into it. Holy Toledos. Ladies and gentlemen, that is quite an experience. My goodness. What a huge blueprint. They wish they had more pieces. We gave them 8,000. I think you've done plenty here with what you've been given. We tried to do the preferred time of day that they asked for, sunset. So I want to do an 11 a.m. in the front bumper. Oh, is front bumper gonna work on this? What is this? Oh, it looks like you made a custom coaster train. Yeah. That's amazing. This whole thing is ridiculous, but also amazingly Star Wars. It's like, oh man, cosmic Star Wars. It's silly. It's a playful take on Star Wars, and I really like it. Holy moly. Yeah, I'd really love to do a track view, but I guess we can't. Because, as you can see here, this thing, well, let's see. My concern is this is gonna be in our face the whole time. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, maybe we can follow it. Why not? Although we don't get the music then. Huh. Nothing works here. Actually, this isn't too bad. You get some cool perspectives. The security checkout, join the Empire, peace and justice. It's silly, it's playful, I love it. This is kind of like, they said it in the intro, this is where the stormtroopers are taking their vacation, and the rebel scum have decided to attack. It's silly, it's playful. Yeah, I don't know if this works, does it? The chase view wants to flip the camera. I like what you do with these starry panels, so now you can see it from this perspective. When we were in the first person, it looked like we were kind of going forward. And I like the optical illusion there, but we're actually on a lift that's going, I mean, does it say the test results? I did open them at some point. Here we go. Yeah, see, this chase view is kind of wacky, isn't it? I'm not sure about this. Oh my goodness, look how fast that is. Okay, yeah, that is 175 kilometers per hour there. Believe it or not, 3 miles or kilometers coaster length, and the biggest drop was 150 meters up top there. Wow. With 11 airtime counts and 6 seconds of airtime, and there's a lot of hang time and stalls throughout this coaster as well. 7 inversions and a ton of scenery. Wow. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love this pink and blue cosmic cow theme that you got going on there. Feels very Planet Coaster-y in the spirit of Planet Coaster, yet there's enough aesthetics here to make it feel Star Wars as well. And I definitely can see why you were saying you wish you had more part count, because we see ships, we see AT-ATs, we see all sorts of different Star Wars stuff, and obviously those are pretty part count intensive to build all of them, and I'm sure you could add AT walkers and all that, ATSTs? I don't know anymore what they're all called. AT-ATs and ATSTs, all that stuff, and then all the different ships and that sort of thing. I'm sure you would want to include it all, but I think there's more than enough here to create a spectacle, and still keeping within that theme that we're running a summer coaster contest, so there needs to be a hint of summer throughout your experience at somewhere, or something that reminds you of summer or inspires you of summer. And I mean, it definitely feels like a vacation paradise. It has that welcoming, playful, charming appeal, yet again, that aesthetic of Star Wars, which is really freaking cool. Oh, and you had on-ride photos. Oh, these are the land speeders, right? From Star Wars. I didn't recognize it at first. Oh, that's cool. You get the little engine thing in there. That's quite nice. And then you have the on-ride photos. So at some point it took a photo. Not the best angle, but if there's... yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, and there's a look at the interior. That is the lift that went straight up. I really like what you did with that lift. I think it's super creative. It's, you know, kind of a dark ride experience, and, you know, making us feel like we're going through outer space and arriving at the planet, so it tells us a bit of a story. Oh, look at that. You're using the invisible pathways. So I haven't seen anyone use that since the update launched, and that is really cool. So we walk above the coaster as it's kind of skimming across the water there. Big splashes. I mean, this is such an open area. This one in particular, this whole series, we have 3 gigantic coaster blueprints. What we didn't expect from this contest is that people would make blueprint coasters this big. If you guys have been watching the show with Coaster Spotlight bundles, what we can do with 4,000 pieces, doubling that, like, we're making blueprints the size of theme parks. Like, look at this. It goes all the way back there, hundreds of meters, thousands of meters back there, and it's all in a blueprint. So I've seen a few complaints that 8,000 wasn't even enough. I disagree. Like, people are literally, there's one blueprint throughout this contest that takes up like the entire park. Like the entire space of what you can build in, pretty much. It's insane. Actually, I think it's in this episode. It is. Well, we'll see what that it looks like later on. We literally have to jump to a whole new map for this blueprint because it's so big. But yes, Tone, you did a great job on this. All the comments I say ring true. I like the neon lighting here. You hit the summer theme, spirit of the contest, included something personal to you that you really love, which is Star Wars. I love it. You know, great expression, creative expression of your personality and that sort of thing. And Tone has been doing a lot of stuff. There's a supporter on the show, a lot of Star Wars stuff. I see an integration here. I didn't really mention this, but this little set here was one of their entries for the Summer Scenery Challenge. So we're doing challenges on the Discord now, which you guys would have seen under the Blueprint Spotlight videos. That was one of their blueprints, and then they used it for the contest. And we saw that in the last episode with Lily Grace, and I guess it's okay that people are using the challenges to help them, you know, build towards their contest. In fact, I might have said that was okay, but I think this is something I want to do going forward. Yeah, Tone's little Yoda there. Amazing. I would like to set up more. The next challenge I'd like to do in a way where the challenges lead into the next contest. I think that would be great. What an amazing drop there. What an amazing way to kick off the episode. Great job on this one, Tone. Let's check out our next creation of the day. Okay, next up is Pluto, created by Taco Jin, an advanced builder and silver supporter. Thank you so much for your support, Taco Jin. And here they say, welcome to Porto Verde, a gorgeous seaside town in the dark history, situated on a cliff. This town is home to spectacular views and cozy streets. However, down below in the ruins of a dark temple from a time when the Romans still roamed modern day Italy. Ride Pluto, a Mac Extreme spinner that takes you through the city. 3 launches, 5 inversions, and over 5,000 feet of track named after the Roman god of the underworld. It will also take you through the dark history of Porto Verde. Instructions: the best view for the coaster is seat view, car 4 if possible. Best time to ride is 1600. Pools are all 100% opacity with 0 lights. Okay, 1600. Holy moly, a lot of spins on that spinning coaster, that's for sure. Okay, we did their preferred time of day at 1600. I want to do an 1100 where we're not spinning so we can appreciate the coaster a little bit more. And why don't we do front bumper? I feel like we haven't been able to really appreciate front bumper yet throughout this contest, but now we can just see how the coaster is. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think we need to look forward at the back so we can watch them spin, potentially. Or is this going to spin me? No, it's getting in my way. Chase view. We're going to have to do chase view. Because, yeah, we want to see them spin, for sure. And we can still appreciate the track from here. But I don't know why you suggested seat 4 on that. You wanted the backwards-facing seat. I thought there was going to be some particular control on the spin or rotation there that would force us to kind of bank and look inward or bank outward and look at something, but it was kind of just spinning around drastically. And I definitely think that there's an art form to spinning coasters. You know, you can just have them spin sporadically as they will, but you can also lock them, unlock them, and control that spin a little bit more methodically, which is extremely difficult to do and very rare that I've seen it done well. But like somewhere like here, if you locked it, unlocked it, you could kind of bank it inward and look outside or maybe inward at the lighthouse, maybe with a inward bank instead, and that sort of thing. So I had a hard time appreciating the environment because it was spinning around so drastically. From this view, we can definitely see a lot more of what's going on, and it's pretty spectacular. I think there's a lot of really good theming going on here, building that Italian city with a lot of the mythology pieces, which is cool. Yeah, quite like it. So another really massive blueprint. This is the massive blueprint episode. So for the ones that were too big to fit in the seasonal park, we placed them in an empty map, and look how big they are. Like, this is the entire edge to edge of how much space you can build a theme park in. This goes to show with 8,000 pieces, you can take up a quarter of the park, and the fourth creation of the day didn't even fit in here. Which is crazy. So I'm actually literally taken back by how much you can do with 8,000. Originally, when I had to retake the queue walk, I walked up here, and it does take you up to the city. I thought this was the queue, and while cool, there are spots that are kind of empty, and that's kind of what you get when you have to only build what you need to see, but you kind of made a path so we can see it, but it's also a blueprint, so I mean, it's really strange because I feel like with giving people the power of 8,000, they're taking it to the limits of, hey, I can build a theme park now. But you can't, because, yeah, you will run out of pieces and you can't quite detail everything. And there's no shops up there, there's nothing up there, so it kind of, it feels like a set. It's a little bit strange. Now, what I would have done with that is had the coaster explore that city a little bit more, I think. You know, I think that would have been kind of cool. You built all this stuff for us to walk up there, and that's it. I don't know. It seemed a little bit strange to me. Maybe you could have, you know, double taken the coaster back through there a couple times, appreciated that scenery. But seeing it from here, like this view here, it's quite captivating how much you've crammed in here. That's really quite spectacular. So pretty cool coaster, pretty cool scene. The spinning on the coaster for me was a little bit on the sporadic side. I would like to see it toned down just a little bit, but not too bad at all. And really showcasing what you can do with the new 8,000 pieces is our creator here today, Taco Jin. So great job on this one, Taco Jin. Advanced Builder, what did you guys think of this creation? And let's jump over to the next monstrosity. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Wildsong, created by Meblin, and here they say, as the streets of Waterdeep are bustling with celebration of the midsummer festivals, the Pink Flume Theater, and the premiering its brand new play, Wildsong. The first act delights the audience, and then chaos erupts in the theater when loud chanting is heard over the performance, and the curtain suddenly rises and reveals a swirling portal. Luckily, a group of adventurers in this audience volunteer to step through the other side to try and save the missing cast and crew and close the portal. Will you join them on the adventure through Feywild? Wildsong. Cool. that was an experience. Holy good googly moogly Meblin. That was a night. I did a nighttime run. I figured it would be a dark ride of sorts, but I wasn't quite sure. So why don't we check it out at day and talk about it a little bit. Maybe I could do front bumper here. So Meblin, if you guys are unaware, there was a park spotlight on the channel just a few park spotlights ago. I want to say 3 or 4, just a few weeks back. Dungeons and Dragons. Or I'll wait for it to start and then finish my thoughts. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, or it was actually called Coasters and Dragons, but it was based off of the D&D universe. So Meblin, from what I'm seeing here, between this ride and the D&D park, they're really into making these kind of like cool experiences, and I'm a big fan of that. This was just really shocking to me, going through the portals here, creating, you know, a trippy experience, taking us through these different worlds, and you see a lot of that in the Dungeons and Dragons park. I mean, you had literal flying dragons and griffins and all sorts of stuff. It was amazing. And the fact that you kind of try to recreate or attempt to do something to that scale with a 8,000 piece blueprint contest is really quite impressive to me. Because yeah, it does feel like we're in it's like an exploration coaster in a world. I mean, it takes up like half the park, right? And there's a lot of creatures and things and scenes. And again, it really just goes to show that these aren't really blueprints anymore, are they? They're just experiences. And now I'm actually, whoa, I love the way you've constructed that mushroom, by the way. These look amazing. This castle was so beautifully lit at night, by the way. The best nighttime lighting on any castle I've seen in a very long time. Love the little Tinkerbell there. Yeah, this is fantastic. What was my last thought was, I'm really starting to think, why did I do a blueprint contest at all when I should have just given you guys the entire park and unlimited pieces to work with? Because the things that you guys are building, you're trying to go so big that it kind of breaks the whole point of doing a blueprint in the first place. What I kind of expected was like a nice clean footprint, some realistic coasters with a little bit of theming, you know, like an elevated Six Flags park or coaster. And that's not what we're getting with this contest, but that's okay. So life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And I mean, I don't take anything away from this. I think this was a great idea overall. Pushing the game to the limits and seeing what we can do with this new 8,000 pieces is exactly what we needed to do. So I digress a little bit on my last comment there in terms of giving you guys a park and unlimited pieces, because the whole point of this was to test the game's limits and see what we could do with 8,000. And as you can see from today's creations, people are building literal universes and gigantic footprints. When I say I kind of expected a small little footprint, you know, this is kind of what I was thinking is, you know, like really compact coasters with a footprint and fencing and a path going around it. That's not what we're getting here. You know, from this, building only what you needed to see is what Meblin did here. Like, this looks atrociously mangled on the outside when you're like, what is going on here? But, you know, we're not looking at it from that perspective. We rode the experience and you never noticed any of that because it's all build what you only need to see, doing it sets wise. So you actually did this, built this really smart, because while we're on the experience, we had no idea any of this stuff was missing. And again, that's utilizing your piece count. You know, even though you have that restriction there, you still had to manage your part count and make cuts, quite literally. So 8,000 pieces is still showing that you still have to build smart and you don't have this unlimited creative freedom, but you can still make these really dynamic and amazing experiences. So hats off to Meblin, and go check out his Dungeons and Dragons park, guys. It was phenomenal. You can find it on the channel, one of the most recent park spotlights. All right, we have to go to an entirely new map because the creation was so big it didn't fit in this, believe it or not. So let's go to the last map. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our last creation of the day is going to Jetlag Mountain, created by Cole Donnerstag, an unranked and now builder in this community, a brand new name that I don't recognize, and a golden supporter. So thank you for joining the community and immediately supporting the show. That is very cool of you, Cole Donnerstag. And here they say, hey, this is my first ever contest submission and also my first ever blueprint. I wanted to make a coaster that was themed to one of the most important parts of summer vacation. All of the endless traveling, road trips that last for days, tiring escapades to the airport. Isn't that what summer's all about? Rumor has it, however, this mountain has a secret portal that helps you travel to your destination in a fraction of the time. Just head into the conference, move fast, and watch your head. You'll be enjoying that vacation relaxation before you know it. Disclaimer, destination accuracy not guaranteed, relaxation not likely. Regarding how quick your travel experience is, you'll still be traversing long distances, so try not to get jet lagged. Also, ensure the coaster friction is set to 0.07. I think you get to do that, not me. And minimal intervals is 100 seconds. You get to do that, not me. Or you'll hit a traffic jam, and no one needs that. And the kids are already back complaining. All right, let's go. Wow, frickin' we. 5 kilometers in length is this coaster, you guys. It is unreal, the size of the coasters that you guys are delivering. I mean, it's just insane. Oh, slow it down. Pause, please. I wanted to see if we had nighttime lighting on this experience, trying to check them out at night where possible, night and day. And looks like there's a little bit, at least in this area. And we can talk about it a little bit. Oh no, what have I done? Go back on. Oh, come back. Okay, it's still going up the lift, so we didn't miss much. All right. Front bumper at night. This might be the first front bumper of the contest so far, I think. So now we can just appreciate the coaster. This shot here at daytime, looking at the way that the rocks looked with the shadows and the game lighting, it actually blew my mind. It surprised me. I was like, whoa, that is really cool. And what's even more surprising about that is those rocks are scaled up. So the texture work on those, Frontier did an amazing job, because when you scaled them up, they didn't look muddy or weird. They actually looked really fantastic. So that was quite a nice surprise to see that. Do I have my flashlight on? No, I don't. Looks like he put some sort of light on the coaster there, so it gives us this nice little gradient hue going through here. I actually am surprised by this nighttime lighting work here, because I was going to, part of me was like, I could probably skip nighttime lighting on this coaster because it doesn't look like there's any, but I mean, you can hide lights everywhere, right? And that's what this creator has done. Hidden all the lights, and it's actually quite a fantastic nighttime experience that, again, surprises me. There's a lot of... This is the most surprising coaster of the day, I'd have to say. From the portals to the way you use the rock work. It's a 5-kilometer long coaster. And now these lights, the spectral of different lights that you put, spectrum of lights that you put everywhere. It's a great use of color, and it's not really spotty looking. It's really well blended. It's kind of insane. It's really insane. And they got a little bit of a glow on the track there because you put it on the coaster or something like that, which gives it a quite nice look. This area looks a little bit on the dark side, but can't win them all. Not too bad. It's a little bit spooky, if anything. Yeah, these portals were really cool. Sensational work on these. Similar to what Meblin did there. Again, I'm really kind of taken back, because when we did our Exploration Coaster Contest 1 and 2 in Planet Coaster 1, I believe the requirement was to have at least 2,000 meters of track. You guys doing these 5-kilometer coasters, I believe, passes that. But with an Exploration Coaster, you had the whole map to work with. You had terrain to work with. You know, you could do as much as you want with the terrain. And you guys are going beyond those limits with full terrain, but without actually using the in-game terrain. The terrain is faked with scaled up objects. And it's kind of blowing me away. And I think that is going to be the talking point of this contest, on how people created these immersive worlds without ever even touching Planet Coaster terrain tools. Quite sensational. I also have to comment on this biodome that you made here. It's fantastic. It actually quite surprised me. Walking through the queue is cool. I almost feel like I'm in a Planet Zoo habitat of sorts, right? It's really nice in here. Even though you have like a kind of a wiggly queue, it took us through the area quite nicely, and there's a lot to look at, and it was, you know, really vibrant. Now, what do we have to do? Because the coaster is so massive. You'll cross time zones. Look, it's humongous. Look at this. That is the edge of the map, and this is the start of the map. And this is what you have left to work with. You've used so much of the map. It's like an exploration coaster. It's like an exploration coaster. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I cannot believe the scale of the coasters you guys are making. These are not tight footprints. I can't even recommend that you download this and put it in your park, because there won't be anywhere to put it. But you know what? Luckily for you guys, we get to experience these all as videos, as experiences. And I'm cool with people going buck wild and making these larger than life experiences. If it's possible, it's possible. Why not do it? We're here to experience it. And again, if I can get the shot here, yeah, that was cool. I really like coming over the lift there and seeing the way you kind of like frayed out the rocks, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And then we go into it, like it transitions from like bright to dark. It gave it like a really cool feel. So I think this is the most surprising one of the episode, the one I'm taken back by a little bit more. I don't recognize the name Cole Donnerstag, and they are unranked and now a builder. So usually when they're brand new to the game, you expect them to have a lot of flaws and a lot of, just beginnerish looking things. And while there is some of that throughout areas, the creativity's there. I think they did a lot of things really, really advanced or expert quality with the techniques and things that they displayed here today. And had a good boarding station, had a good queue, a huge, humongous experience, fun coaster, music, lighting. The lighting was impeccable. So, I mean, you're punching up. You're doing a really good job here, Cole Donnerstag. Welcome to the community. Your first ever submission and coaster creation, participating in a contest, and starting your experience off as a supporter of the show. So, thank you so much for that. And as well as a big shout out to Tone 300 and Taco Jin, also two supporters in this episode here today, trying to give priority to all of our creators here that are supporting the show. So thank you to all of our supporters. If you guys want to check out Patreon, links are down in the description below. What did you think of today's coaster creations? Quite a wild variety here. Love to hear your thoughts. Fire away down in the comments below. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Summer Coaster Contest. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.